been a minute since I did a more casual video, so I wanted to come on and say hi, hello. I have not done a get ready with me in a while because, as you can see, I have been blowing out my hair quite a bit the past couple weeks, so I can't speak over the hair dryer. But I did get my hair cut, so it's looking healthier now. It's been really dry lately, so it's been really hard to maintain my natural waves in this weather, even with all the products that I use, which is really only 2 products, but still, with all the maintenance that I do, hasn't been sufficient, and it's just been better to just make my hair, to just blow out my hair and make it look nice and polished. So I previously shared that I have been reading the book Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. I haven't been able to get through it as quickly as I normally do because I have been busy with other priorities, but I have been able to get through a few more chapters and wanted to hop on and share a few more insights with you. One of the main concepts of the book is that life is not so much a game of chess, but rather games of poker. Because unlike poker, chess is a game that is purely skill-based and involves no luck. If you lose, we can retroactively go back and pinpoint where exactly you made mistakes. But life is not like that because there are so many unknowns and factors that even after the fact, we may not be aware of. This might be obvious to some of you, but this was a very important perspective for me to gain because I literally correlated my chess playing abilities to my ability in life. Whenever I played chess and lost, I would feel terrible about every wrong move that I made, and I would analyze every mistake. I saw every move as a reflection of how I handle real life decisions. So if I played poorly, for example, if I felt like I had maybe rushed a move, I would think, see, this is what I do in life too. I don't think things through enough before doing them. When the reality is, I actually do. And the fact is, in life, even if you are an expert on something, which typically we aren't for most decisions we make, there are so many other things that we don't take into consideration because we just don't think of it, or we just don't even know to think of it. And I realized that with chess, it really just came down to my skill level. It is a highly technical game that requires practice, strategy, and experience. Whereas in life, while of course skill plays a part, there are so many different factors that go beyond just making the right move. And I was being really hard on myself for decisions that I did think very thoroughly before making. And the thing is, as humans, we think that we think logically. And the fact of the matter is that we don't. We use a combination of information, intuition, and experience to make all our decisions. Even what you think is a logical decision usually stems from a base of some sort of emotional bias that you hold within yourself. And when we talk about unknowns, it's not just about the things that we could have, would have, should have known. It's also the unpredictability of the world we live in. Not knowing how people will react, including yourself in any given situation, is one example of that. Unlike in chess, in life, you can't necessarily look backwards and go, this is exactly what I should have done and it would have gone this way. Sometimes you can, but most times you really don't know unless you take that path, because there are way more factors than you think in play. So the decisions we make in life are more like the decisions we make playing poker. There's obviously a base level of skill and understanding, but there's a lot of luck and unknowns, like what cards other people hold and how they will play them. And because of this, there aren't really stark right or wrong moves, but rather better and worse moves that you can make. When we shift our perspectives on how we judge our decisions, we are more able to accurately workshop how we make decisions and are less likely to use adverse results as proof that we made a poor decision, because we recognize that the decision might actually have been a good one given everything we knew at the time, but luck and or incomplete information intervened. being wrong actually hurts us more than being right makes us feel good. So this perspective shift is really important, because if we can see our decisions more on a continuum of gray rather than as black and white, right or wrong, we are more willing to accept when we didn't make the best decision and are able to learn and get better, versus in some cases doubling down, because it's really hard to accept sometimes that we are wrong, when the reality is that in life you are not necessarily wrong if an outcome doesn't turn out the way that you hoped. It is often a matter of probability and decision quality rather than pure right or wrong. So it's a little more complicated than just our skill level, right? You're probably wondering, well, how do we judge our decision quality then? Our bets, our decisions in life, are only as good as our beliefs. So it's important to regularly check our beliefs, using experience and information as it comes to more objectively update our beliefs to more accurately represent the world. The more accurate our beliefs, the better the foundation of the decisions that we make. This is where journaling can be really insightful in helping you identify thinking patterns that may lead you astray when making decisions. No matter what beliefs we hold, it's very natural to sometimes think or act in ways that contradict them. So we actually form beliefs in a rather haphazard way. Annie breaks it down into 3 steps, which I'm just going to read straight out of the book. This is how we think we form abstract beliefs. 1, we hear something. 2, we think about it and vet it, determining whether it is true or false. And only after that, 3, we form our belief. It turns out, though, that we actually form abstract beliefs this way. 1, we hear something. 2, we believe it to be true. And 3, only sometimes later, if we have the time or the inclination, we think about it and vet it, determining whether it is in fact true or false. How interesting is that? I had to stop and think about this because my immediate reaction was no way. But the reality is we are bombarded with information all the time. It is physically impossible for us to possibly stop and think about every piece of information that we receive. If we think of our beliefs and decisions as only 100% right or 100% wrong, it makes it really difficult to receive information that might contradict our beliefs or decisions, as we are only left with 2 options: make the massive shift in our opinion of ourselves from 100% right to 100% wrong, or ignore and discredit the new information, which is obviously problematic. What's fun about this is that being smart makes it worse, because we only dig deeper into the holes that we dig ourselves by rationalizing why we believe what we believe, despite information that may show us otherwise. So by understanding that it's not so much about being right or wrong, but being on this continuum of making better decisions and forming more accurate beliefs, we can incorporate uncertainty into the way we think about our beliefs, which allows for growth when the opportunity comes. I'm going to wrap this up with a few well-written lines from the book. When we work toward belief calibration, we become less judgmental of ourselves. There is no sin in finding out there is evidence that contradicts what we believe. The only sin is in not using that evidence as objectively as possible to refine that belief going forward. I hope you enjoyed these insights for today's Mindset Monday. I really enjoyed sharing them. I will actually be going into more detail about how to use journaling to help with your decision-making process in the next journaling episode. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.